picking up with Janu Shirshasana. So this is head to knee or knee to head pose. With this one, we are going to, either way, you can go long ways or sideways, again, depending on what postures you're doing before or after them. And it depends again also how it feels for that person, if they want to take the leg kind of to the side or more so in front of them with this other foot drawn in towards the inner thigh. And again, that's going to also depend. How closely do they want that heel to the groin? It might feel okay to have it drawn in close, or they may want it, the foot a little bit away and more towards the knee. So again, with any seated posture, we want to find that comfortable seated posture that we feel balanced and where that spine is long. So we want to stay lifted up out of that spine. A strap may be needed here, so you would want to let them know to have that close by, maybe a block under this knee here. So, different things again that we can use. They may also want to sit on a folded blanket, again, if that seated posture doesn't feel comfortable to them. Okay, so I'm going to try to get through more than just 2 postures in this video. From that seated posture, and again, depending on where the body is to that extended leg, if it's over to the side, we may need to rotate the torso towards that extended foot. On the inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale again, just like we did with our seated forward fold with our feet drawn in. We don't just want to bring the torso down. We want to feel rolling through the pelvis to get that extension of the torso. Then that's going to give us an opportunity to reach more towards that foot, versus if we start coming down, we're shortening that distance. So we extend through our pelvis and then reach towards that foot, either with the hands or strap, and then drawing that chin towards the shin. Holding here for several breaths, and to come out, inhale, lifting, releasing that foot, releasing that bent leg, shake it out. Okay, so if we did the other side, extending the right leg, draw that left leg in wherever that feels comfortable for you. Turn the torso toward your extended foot. Find that comfortable posture in your pelvis so you don't feel lopsided. When we draw a leg in, that immediately puts us off balance. So find that balance. Spine is long. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, start to roll through the hips, extending towards that right foot, reaching for that foot, either reaching around, creating a bind, using the strap, or just using the hands. Keeping that spine nice and long as you're reaching down with that chin. Inhale, releasing that bind, and coming back to center, releasing the leg. Okay, so, we went through some of those modifications with the legs and using the props. So definitely continue practicing with those. Adho Baddha Padma Paschimottanasana. So another mouthful, right? What you're going to find with these next few postures, the next 2 in particular, you can use those interchangeably. So because that bent leg is doing something different, the rest of the posture in both the Adho Baddha and Trianj Mukha Kapada Paschimottanasana, the rest of it is very similar. So it really, the difference is going to be this bent leg in these next 2 postures. So if for someone, if that doesn't feel good to draw the leg in like this, or to draw the leg into like similar to hero pose, and again, you would want to move that flesh out of the way, draw that leg in. If this doesn't feel good for someone and you're doing the Triange Mukha Kapata, you would want to instruct them in the Ardha Bada, okay? So you can use them interchangeably. Either way, you want to, when you bring that bent leg in, find that balance again. And that may mean they need a folded blanket under the hip to create that balance, or moving flesh out of the way. So for the first one, Ardha Bada, Padma Paschimottanasana, you can draw this foot in here, and as they show you in the book, it can be at the inner thigh, or you're literally going to pull it in like you would in lotus or a half lotus into that hip crease, okay? And the knee is drawing towards that extended foot. The problem here is if the foot is here, when you come to fold forward, sometimes that can interfere with folding forward. So just keeping that in mind. And for either of the postures, you want to really make sure that you spend some time opening those hips and working through the knees so that we're not interfering with ourselves in the posture. Okay, and having that strap nearby. So for this first one, you would come into a seated posture, taking that right foot, bringing that foot into the hip crease, knee draws towards your extended leg, sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward through the hips, so we're getting that extension, reaching for that foot, either with the hands, a strap, or creating a bind here. Chin or forehead coming towards that shin. You would hold here for however many breaths you're wanting. Inhale to release, coming up, removing that foot, shaking it out, and you would do the other side. For Triange Mukha Kapata, very similar. We're going to take this leg instead, moving flesh out of the way if needed, as we draw that foot towards our sit bone. This one again, find that balance. Maybe a folded blanket under this left hip. Spine is long. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold towards that foot. We're reaching out from the hips. Again, creating that bind, just interlocking fingers, using a strap, and then continue folding forward. Chin or forehead reaching towards that shin. Inhale to release. Remove that bent leg, shake it out, and you would do the opposite side to keep that balance. You're going to feel it differently depending on what you're doing with this leg. You'll feel it a little bit differently throughout the body, but you definitely can use them interchangeably, and your students or yourself will still be getting many of the similar benefits, but you just might feel it a little differently in the hips and the hamstrings. So those are the next two postures. Krunkasana. Let me see, where are we with time? Yeah, we'll do Krunkasana. Again, seated posture. You may again want to use the wall just as we did in boat pose, just for that little bit of support on the back of the head. You're not ever laying the whole body on the wall if you do use that. Again, strap is good to have nearby. So with this one, you can do it as the book shows with that bent leg in Krunkasana. But again, I find for my students, this is a lot on the knee. So often I have them come into that half butterfly instead. So that's just an option. Then you're going to bend in, draw in that left leg. As you do, there's a tendency to roll back. You want to stay upright in those sit bones. From here, interlacing the hands, lift that left foot up or use a strap. Place it under the foot. Draw that knee in as you rock back slightly, and then extending that left leg out. You can stay right here. If they want to go further in this posture, of course, they can draw that leg up more and take that chin or forehead towards that extended shin. It's not necessary, but if they want to deepen that posture, they certainly can. Holding here for however many breaths you want. Inhale, straighten through that spine. Exhale, release the foot, release the hands, shaking it out, and you would move on to the other side. So again, just some modifications, props to use, since we in this module are talking about props and modifications. I'm just going to go ahead and start to show you those within each posture. So practice all of them so that you can feel what those differences feel like, either using the leg in this position or this, and again using props, because even if you don't want them, you'll be a better teacher because you know what the props can offer in the posture, so that if you see a student, you know, meeting some challenges within a posture, you're able to say, oh, go ahead and place a blanket under that hip to get that balance so you feel better in the posture, or go ahead and use that strap that's going to bridge that gap so you can really get that full experience of the posture. So we'll stop here and pick up in the next video with Marichiasana.